Hi. Welcome to another episode of the One-on-One podcast. I'm Josh. I hope you've figured that out by now. I'm joined by Ryan Esteban in the studio with me, our video producer, as well as Kathy, who is all the way out there very cold right now, right?
Yes.
Do you want to...
and expecting snow, which we don't do well.
Yeah, that's not normal for you guys, right?
No, I like the ice on margaritas, not the ice on sidewalks.
Oh, I love that. We have two wonderful guests with us today that I will introduce to you guys in a second. They've both been on before, but never together. And we have them together for a very specific purpose to introduce a new part of our company. Am I saying it fairly, Kathy?
Yes.
Yeah. Before I do that, I want to, we were chatting off video before this, and so my question is going to relate to our conversation off of that. For Ryan and Kathy, and then our guests we'll introduce in a second, I want to know what your guys' favorite subject was in school as a kid.
Ooh.
Let's start with Kathy.
Oh, my mind immediately went to what it was not.
Wait, can we hear that too?
Yeah, it was probably PE. And probably English, but not that word, not the whole sentence thing you had to do. It was reading.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's mine.
Literature.
Mine's literature too. I'm with Kathy on that one. What about you, Ryan?
Geography.
Ooh, you actually
History.
took that? This is pre-college? You took geography in high school?
Wasn't it required? Some type of like U.S. history?
Yeah, but geography's, we're going way too off topic here, but I love that. That's all. I love history too. I minored in history in college. All right, I'll introduce our first guest because I want to know what her favorite subject was in school. Taylor Christensen, our VP of Marketing and Business Development. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
What was your favorite school subject?
It was math.
Math, like in a specific math or just math in general? Like you...
I'm
not surprised by that answer.
Math in general.
Okay. Mike Clear would be happy with that answer.
Yeah, but least favorite was reading. You could probably tell by my my spelling.
And then Adrian. Adrian's been here. You've been on one episode, 2 episodes?
One.
Okay. And Adrian is one of our brokers out in Atlanta, right?
That's correct.
And before we get into the subject of this podcast episode, which is why we specifically have you on here, what was your favorite subject in school?
Mine was actually science.
Oh.
I used to love the experiments and,
That's a good one. I like that. I feel like we have a good collective group,
we
right?
covered
like
all
we have like all 6 periods of high school right here.
Kathy rounding it out with some PE too.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I remember the day, and there's difference in arithmetic and like algebra. I remember the day, and this was one of the times I got sent to the principal's office. I remember when they started doing algebra, it was like 7th or 8th grade, whenever that was, and he put the A and the B, and I raised my hand and I went, Abba, I know all their songs. And it was hilarious to me that my math teacher, Mr. Smith, did not think it was funny. So that was when it kind of went to hay in a handbag for me. It was like, who brought the alphabet to math class?
Well, and not to keep harping on this, but it's like you take algebra and then they throw you into geometry. And I know I'm going to sound like an idiot right now. I don't care. But you take algebra and then they throw you into geometry, which is like completely in the opposite direction. Then they throw you back into algebra 2. And then it's like calculus. And it's just
that is correct. Yeah.
I just, I'm stressing myself out just talking about it. Anyways, okay. There's a reason why we have these two here. And we have recently, for lack of a better phrase, added a new wing to our company. Is that, yeah?
Yeah.
Realty ONE Group Commercial. We are now in the commercial business. Adrian has been in it for a very long time. He's been wickedly successful in his market. That's why we have him on here. But Taylor, I want you to kind of tell all of our listeners and viewers maybe a bird's eye view of what it is, why we're doing it. Let's start there.
Yeah. So I've had the pleasure of working with Adrian since late last year. Adrian and Kathy. We meet weekly, and we've been working behind the scenes on what the structure of Realty ONE Group Commercial looks like. So it's a branding and certification program that's available to all of our agents and their affiliates. There is a training component at the broker and the agent level to really structure the program and give some guidance in how you would succeed in luxury. I mean, sorry, in commercial.
In commercial, it's okay. We have one Lux
also
too.
have a luxury program in how you would succeed in commercial, because it's a very different beast than residential real estate. And I'm learning so much, and Adrian is the expert, but there's so many different facets to commercial real estate, from multifamily to like large business building to selling businesses to retail and gas stations. And it's really identifying all of those facets and then understanding maybe where you would like to do business in, and then how to talk to people within that facet, how to get that call back from other commercial real estate agents and really round out your business.
Adrian,
if I can say
Go
one,
ahead, Kathy.
if I can just interrupt before we get started, Adrian Provost is one of the most intelligent, kind people I know, and we're so pleased to have Realty ONE Group Terminus in Atlanta. And his expertise, I'm telling you, this whole thing of me not being able to do algebra, he's like a gift to me, because these two people do math. So, Adrian, we are pleased and so honored to be working with you.
The honor is all mine.
Adrian, I would like to know, how did you initially get into the commercial world? What was the spark? How did that become your differentiating factor in your business?
So it was actually not by design, believe it or not. So I started, doing residential, and I ended up doing high-end luxury stuff, and worked with a ton of celebrities and some very high-profile, very affluent individuals. And I found that a lot of them wanted to invest in real estate as well, outside of just the traditional, single-family home residential investments or a duplex or triplex. And so I had a bunch of people who were in the music industry, reaching out saying, hey, I'm looking for a studio. And I had some people reaching out saying, hey, I'm looking for a restaurant. And I had no idea where to begin. But I knew that I wanted to make sure that I could service them to the best of my capabilities. And then again, going from that luxury world, it kind of equipped me more than I even realized, to be honest with you, in regards to the service, and understanding that there's a different level of service that needs to be provided. But most importantly, a level of understanding and knowledge that is extremely important for you to be successful in commercial. So again, for me, it was actually by accident. I had some clients that I was already working with. I helped them buy some incredible homes, and they were like, hey, I want to invest. And I want you to help me invest, specifically because I love the experience that I had with you on the residential side. So I kind of forced my way into it, and really just dug deep to make sure that I understood as much as I could before I actually started assisting them. And I had some assistance along the way as well, especially with my first few deals. But yeah, so again, it wasn't by design at all. It was actually by accident. Or by the universe.
Go ahead, Taylor.
But one thing I learned about Adrian is like when he takes a step in, like he's all in, and he's shown me like how well connected he is and well versed he is on the commercial real estate space, connecting me with all the partners, the major players in this space, and they all are like, oh yeah, we work with Adrian, we know his business. It's been really a pleasure working with you.
But I think you brought up a good point where you didn't want to be the expert to these people until you considered yourself an expert. And I think that shows his character is, you're not just gonna be like, cool, yeah, you guys want to invest in a music studio, let's do it. Like, no, you had to do your due diligence as the expert to be able to actually help them with the transaction.
100%. And as Taylor alluded to, it's like, when I decided that I was going to do that, I literally jumped full-fledged all into it. I still had some residential, but fortunately I had a team, right? So I was able to just let them handle the residential stuff while I really went as hard as I could to make sure that I understood as much as possible about commercial. Because again, it is a completely different beast, from the terminology to just the basic understanding and principles to the analysis. It's literally a completely different ball game, for sure. So you have to be committed to it.
Kathy, I think I cut you off before. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I was just going to say a couple of things. Number one, I love the parallels between luxury and commercial, and I don't know that I had as closely connected them as Adrian has given me. Taylor, I don't know about you, but given me that perspective. there is, from a broker standpoint, it's really hard for me not to take my broker hat off. There's a lot of, and maybe it's my lack of math ability. We keep going back to that, but there's so much respect for me towards the commercial professionals, because it is, Adrian, it is such a different business. And what I have always compared it to is risk. And for a residential professional can absolutely do commercial, but a residential professional doing commercial is very similar to me. This is just my opinion, in a general practitioner doing open heart surgery. I have a medical degree, but I don't specialize. And what you've brought to us, what you've helped us accomplish, is to provide that branding and certification program to take our professionals to that level of expertise. And I think by doing this, we eliminate a lot of that risk. We bring opportunity to the network. I'm so proud to work with these two for that reason. And, just eliminating that risk while opening that opportunity is huge, is absolutely huge.
Yeah, I agree. That specialized knowledge is crucial in our industry on the commercial side. And again, the sectors are so different in themselves. So again, commercial real estate is its own thing, but there's so many nuances to each component, right? You have industrial, self-storage, multifamily. I mean, you go on and on, office, retail. So I mean, in every one of those sectors are completely different than the other. There might be some things that overlap. Like there's some overlap with hospitality or hotels and motel sales, as well as multifamily. But again, they're two completely different industries. The terminology is different. The way you analyze those assets are different. I mean, everything about it, quite honestly.
So I know it sounds like you've kind of dipped in a few different areas of commercial. I don't know if this is an ignorant question. Would you suggest someone who's thinking about getting into it to focus on maybe 1 to 2 sections, or stuff that they're maybe passionate about, or do you think it's I can handle selling a motel and I can handle selling a corporate space? Like, what would you say is the best?
No, I would say it really is dependent upon a bunch of different factors. Mainly, like if you're in the geographic territory that's conducive to you performing on multiple sectors, right? So you can do like West Midtown of Atlanta like the back of your hand, right? Well, that's a bad example because that's still too much large of a space, right? I would say, to answer your question, I'm a big believer in specialty. I think that for you to become great at anything, you have to be a specialist, right? Great example, one of the best of all time, whether you like him or not, Michael Jordan, right? Oh, yeah. Best basketball player, arguably, of all time.
There's no argument there. We agree with you.
We're with you on that.
Right now, how about him on the baseball field? Very forgettable.
Hey, but Dion on the baseball field wasn't bad.
So could he play? Of course he could play, but at that same level, not even close.
Yeah.
Right. And so you? Yes, you could do it. But would it make the most sense for you to? Probably not. And will you be able to achieve that level of greatness? Absolutely not. Right. So again, could you do it? Yes. Like I've traded a bunch of different type of asset types. Would I ever claim to be an actual expert in any sector outside of multifamily? Probably not. I know that I am multifamily. Multifamily is me. Right. Can I trade a hotel building? Of course I have. Right. Industrial. Yes, I have. But I'm an expert, hands down, in multifamily. There's no question about that. Right. And so I think that, and again, that's also where I made the bulk of my money, if we're talking from a sales perspective. Yeah. Like it's not even close. To answer your question, yes, you could, but I wouldn't encourage it.
No, I think that's good advice. And Taylor, I want to kind of, not to give everything away, but maybe can you give a little teaser of what someone can expect who goes through the certification program?
I'm going to end up spinning that back to Adrian, but back to like, could you, but what you would not, you would refer that out for your different specialty. That's something so we also have a committee that's part of Realty ONE Group Commercial, and it's 5 other broker owners across the network in different areas with different specialties, different background in commercial. And that's the common theme that I've learned in while we're building this out, is that not only are there specialties, but there's a lot of referral business that happens in commercial.
Yeah.
And so what I imagine we're going to see as we start to launch Realty ONE Group Commercial is develop this network of real estate agents across the nation. And there's going to be different specialties and different subgroups that start to emerge. And what the training is really going to help everyone do is understand maybe what their specialty is, and then be able to connect and network and still be able to open those doors of opportunity, right? If I'm a luxury real estate agent today, and so then I know wealthy people who oftentimes invest in businesses, but they don't invest in the specialty I am going to specialize in commercial. I now have access to a network of either mentors or people to keep that deal alive, to take care of my client and, you know, grow my business that way. But Adrian developed our training program. So I really would love you to talk about what, and there's different levels to it, right? But the basic level that we are requiring for everyone, what they could look forward to.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to touch on what you just said before I jump into that, because I think it's extremely important and why we are so different, right? Again, we're the unbrokerage, and, you know, we do our thing our way. And I find that what we're building is very community centric, right? So going back to Taylor's point, it's like we're a family and we're here to support one another and to help you close on more business, right? So it's like, we don't want you to take away from your primary business by looking elsewhere because you could pick up a deal potentially here or there when it could potentially disrupt what you've been building for so long, right? So we're here for support. And that's a big piece of what we're doing, you know, from a community standpoint, from a collaborative standpoint. In regards to the curriculum, the biggest thing for the agents, so it's going to be a two-sided curriculum, right? One specific for the practitioners, the sales agents, and then one specifically for brokers and owners, right? And on the sales agent side, the biggest piece is to make sure that they're set up for success, right? And big success. So we're looking at the foundations and the fundamentals, and we go very deep on what that should look like. Like, it's not a theoretical training, right? This is actual practical in nature.
Yeah.
So we're going to help you construct your business and literally give you the steps, the roadmap, so you can go step by step by step to have a sound and practical commercial real estate business that you can continuously grow. And then we're here with additional resources to help you continuously develop, right? And to assist with guidance and to assist with resources to make sure that you are equipped to go out there and compete with the best. So yeah, and on the broker side, it's a similar, you know, philosophy. So again, they'll have a lot of the same core principles and understandings from a fundamental and foundations standpoint. But we're also going to really be focused on that revenue diversification, right? And agent attraction and limiting your exposure. So make sure everything is compliant and that you don't have to worry about a massive headache if something goes wrong, right? So you're going to be set up for success. There's various types of levels of participation, if you will. And yeah, I think that overall it's literally to help you propel your business to the next level on both sides.
And the fact that, I mean, Kathy, it just reminds me of your One Prime Time. Like, it's a step-by-step process that if you follow it to the end, you're going to see the results. And I love that this company just has so many of these programs in place for professionals at any stage of their career, you know?
I do. It's very actionable training. And Adrian said to me, one of our first conversations, and Adrian, you may not even remember this, but we were talking about commercial. And Adrian said to me, what most residential professionals don't realize is that every time they look into the eyes of a residential transaction, there is potentially a commercial transaction within it. And what this program is going to do is build standards, performance standards
exchange of goods,
for,
services, or anything of value
to make sure that either our professionals are taking their business to the next level, that expertise level, or they're confidently referring it out within those standards. So I'm really excited. For me, you said something when we opened, Josh, that now professionals could do commercial transactions. We've been doing it. This is going to help us do it better.
Got it.
This is going to help us achieve greater success faster and open more doors. So that's what we're most excited about, I think.
Absolutely. To that point too, like the enhanced brand image is so profound with what we've been developing, and you guys are going to be amazed with the team put together. I am in awe, to be honest with you.
That's exciting.
And again, it just helps create a tremendous amount of leverage for everybody.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Before we let you go, Adrian, the last thing that I want to touch on and talk to you about, because we've talked so much about building a network and having those people in your corner, which has clearly really, really helped you. And there's a skill set to that. We're obviously a couple months out, but Summit it's coming up this year, and Kathy and I really like to emphasize the ROI you get from the referrals and the network that you build when you attend these events. And I know you have attended these events in the past. I know you're coming in November. Can you maybe tell us what someone can gain from an event like Summit, what you have gained, how they can extend their network, how they can gain referrals, 30 seconds to a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. So Summit in itself is like literally one of the best events I've ever attended, right? Not just from the speakers, right? You always get some incredible speakers and you go away with some, just great knowledge, but the relationships that you're able to build and that camaraderie, right? The collaborations. I find that, again, we're in over 500 offices, in
25 countries.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Yeah. And again, that level of reach is unsurpassed. And then when you add the commercial element to that, again, it's just a home run, right? I think that it's extremely important to be able to be face to face with individuals that, you're looking to, even if you're not looking for something specifically, right? Just to actually introduce yourself and meet with them. I think that it's important to actually know who you're referring business to. And then again, you also position yourself to receive referrals, right? And I will say one thing about Realty ONE Group is, I can't stress this enough, it's like we're literally a family. So, we take care of one another in that sense. And it's different when you met someone in person and you get to know them versus if you just, see them online and, you heard a couple of good things or whatever. It's a totally different experience. Yeah. And I think that also from the learning, like when you're there physically and you can be engaged, and like, I'm a big believer in that mastermind, that you can't get that energy anywhere else. Yep. Right? When you have a collective of like-minded individuals who are all looking to progress, and get better every day and help each other go further. I think that, again, you can't, there's no price you can put on that, quite honestly. And so I think that it's definitely something that I would encourage everyone to attend, especially if you haven't been there. But again, even if you have gone, like, there's never a summit that I won't attend as long as I'm alive, right? Again, it's one of those things that, seriously, where it's just like everything about it is phenomenal.
Ryan, we just got our testimonial.
I'm an introvert. Believe it or not, I'm an introvert. But it's just like, it's you can't help but to be just sucked into that energy. Yeah. And then you go home with so much more than what you came with.
No, you couldn't have said it any better. I mean, I had already said it, but Ryan, we can break that up and use 3-4 different testimonials from that right there. Adrian, thank you so much. I am so excited for your business. I'm so excited for Realty ONE Group Commercial. Taylor, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I'm excited to see everybody at Summit if I don't see you guys beforehand. And best of luck with everything, Adrian. Thanks again.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the One-on-One podcast, powered by Realty ONE Group. For more information, questions, or concerns, please reach out to coaching@realtyonegroup.com.